Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Muhammad Asim. I'm working as a DevOps and sysadmin. So today I'm going to show you the mean stack application deployment in Docker. So let's begin. For this purpose, I've used the Docker lab, which is the best solution for any deployment and testing purpose. One thing I need to tell you that you can use the Docker lab uh, for testing and deployment purposes. It is totally free. You can create your account and it give you 4 hour along with 5 instances at each time. Even you can at the same time deploy other instances of your Docker lab, but each lab, you see the time you started, give you 4 hours. So this is the testing platform, but you can deploy this uh, by using my video on your actual production servers. So let's begin. I'm going to show you how you can even SSH into the machine. First of all, this is the application. We will use the Nginx, and this is the application, and the architecture we are going to follow is this. So we are going to use this architecture. The Nginx will be used as a reverse proxy. It will be in front of all this mean stack deployment. So the front end would be the Angular, and it, in case of any request which is with regard to the database, it will ask the Node.js web server. So, and the request will then go to the MongoDB. For static content, we will use the Nginx, and it is for static content, Nginx is the best solution, and it also we are using this as a web server and as a reverse proxy as well. So I will put this application on the my Google Cloud account. So and I will provide you the link so you can download this and you can test it, and you can deploy it on your actual production as well. So let's begin. So what we will do, this video will have 2 parts. In first part we will use the Docker run command, and on the second part I will show you guys the mean in swarm with the single node balancing swarm mode. So first we are going to use the Docker run command. So the project I've used is this. I'm going to show you. I will provide you all the details with regard to this project, and this is the project we have used for understanding and deployment of mean stack. It is freely available. It is an open source project. You can use this project and make changes to it. So what I'm going to do is to copy paste this command. Let me explain to you. This command will launch the Mongo instance of as I've shown you in the architecture picture. It is the MongoDB database. So first of all we will deploy this, and I'm going to show you how you can easily deploy in the Docker run command. So let's see. The V flag shows that it is mounted, it is the persistent mount. Let me play this and you will see that the all data with regard to the Mongo database will be persistent on this /root Mongo of your actual server. Let's see, let me control L to it, and this, you see, backups is for, I've mounted for if in case if I want to create a backup of my database, and the other is with regard to the MongoDB database persistency. So if I show you the folder Mongo, you see all data with regard to the Mongo. But with the passage of time, I've also used the MongoDB GUI. So as I am not a developer, it is quite a bit difficult for me to see things, how things work in database. So kindly watch this video as for with regard to the deployment purposes rather than development purposes. I am assuming that you have already developed your product as a developer. You have finished your product, your application is finished. Now is the time to deploy this product. We are using the Docker, and it is very simple to use the Docker. So by default Mongo uses the admin database. I'm going to protect this database. Simply you can use this command, copy paste this, and let me show you that the lab environment, this is my lab environment, Docker exec. Okay, I need an interactive shell and I'm running the Mongo. I need bash. I am going to enter the Mongo, control L. I'm going to paste the code. Okay, press enter. You see, successfully added user Asim, and the database name is admin. You see, use admin is the database. I'm going to show you the GUI interface in a while, so you can easily understand what is going on actually in the database section. So now I'm going to show you how you can easily see your database condition, what is currently. So you can see this in a protected way. I'm going to use the Mongo Express image, or if you wanna see this in unprotected manner, you can use the above quotation. So I'm going to copy paste this, and the password would be this environment variable I use. You can use if you wanna see the details regarding the Mongo Express, you can go to this link and read out all the details. So what I'm going to do is to copy paste all these details, and let me show you. Now I'm going to run this container. Okay, this container, I need to tell you, is dependent on the MongoDB. So first of all, you must need to run the MongoDB container, which is the Mongo database. And if I click on this, it will ask me for the password, and the username I will provided, and the password, I forget it, this is the password. Okay, I'm in. Now I have a GUI interface of my actual database, which is the MongoDB. You see, I have entered the credential with regard to the admin database. So let's see. I now have the GUI. This is the database. I use the user asim, and the credentials are actually hashed. So even if someone wanna see the store key, he will have no idea what is the password. So this is a great way to visualize your MongoDB actual database container, and even you can edit it as well and save those. You see, I can edit and save, which I'm not going to do, but you can use this MongoDB Express as a GUI. One of the best thing about this microservices architecture is that even when I need to view my database, what is going on there, and if I need to edit something, I can use this in a protected way. And when I don't need it, simply for security purposes, I need to tell you that simply you can destroy this container or stop this container, and the service will be stopped. And when you need it, you can use simple as that. Or if you want to destroy it, you can destroy it. You can delete as well. So let's say I'm going to remove it rather than stopping it. I use the name client for this, and it's gone. You see, 8081 port on which it is listening, it's gone now. So this is the best security practices you can do. This is the beginning part of our project of mean application deployment. Now what I'm going to do is the other step, which is I'm going to copy paste this our actual project in my VMware virtual machine, and I'm going to show you how you can use actually this and in your actual in your testing and production environment. Simply what I'm going to do is to copy this in the VMware. Let me copy this. I'm copying this folder in my virtual machine. It is now been copied. It is very simple. So now what I'm going to do is to create a tar bg2 image. Tar is an archive, and bg2 is the compression. So I'm going to create bg2 for J for bg2 compression, a verbose file, and I'm going to give this a new name, mean dot tar bg2, it is the compression, and tar is an archive. So the file is created, and I'm going to show you the size of this usage unit summary mean. So it is only 3.1 MB, and if we see our actual folder, it is 21 megs. So it's a huge difference. Why I've done this? Now I'm going to show you. The reason for doing this is actually we are going to throw this our file in the our lab section. So see, I have copied the IP section of this, and what I'm going to do is to SSH into the our lab. So one thing I need to tell you regarding this, let me open another tab, go to the go to my root home folder, and I'm going to go to the SSH section of it, and what I'm going to do is to SCP secure copy this known host. If you don't have no idea how to create SSH keys, simply do SSH-keygen, press tab and gen, yes, enter, and that's it, already exists. Press enter, and this is just for the demonstration purposes. These two files, your public and RSA and id rsa.pub will be created automatically. So I need a public key. I will do SCP, and I'm going to throw my public key to this lab, and I need to give the same path of my actual lab, which is this, and I'm going to say authorized underscore keys. That's it. So by doing this, Docker lab will let me do the SSH session, and we will simply, by doing this, we will secure copy our actual mean tar.file. Let me play the same IP in the root of the Docker lab. So it is just a 3 MB file. It will not take much time. So 72% has been done already. So I'm going to show you how that is the way I showed you. You can place your code to the Docker lab. So people in start don't have any idea how they can place their code on the Docker lab. It is not very difficult. This is the way to do it. This is the way to place your code on the Docker lab, and the best solution is that use the compression, which is bg2 compression. You see, this is the file. If I use the disk user unit summary, and let me show you the size of this. Sorry, this is 3 megabytes. Okay, so let's begin our project. I'm gonna make the project. I'm assuming that you are a mean developer and you have already completed your project, and you are looking to Dockerize your project, and which is, I guess, it is the very secure and easy solution for the deployment, as the Docker is the hottest technology. So simply I'm going to extract my code here, which is the bg2 compression, which is with bg2 compression. So it is extracted. So, and this is how simple it is to place your code on the Docker lab. And 4 hour time is very much a reasonable time. Even you can share this link with your friends, and he or she will get the same lab with the same settings, and he can access as well. So this is our main folder. I'm going to cd into it and do the ls. So as I showed you the concept, which is the architecture, and the file I'm going to use, this is the same file. So first of all I'm going to build my application via the Docker file. Actually application is already built. What I'm going to do by using the Docker file is to simply copy my actually finished product, which is my application, into the Docker image. I'm going to build the image with that. So I'm going to, for the building purposes, I'm going to use the Docker the node image, and I'm going to upgrade this and all this stuff. I guess I don't have to explain all this. It is pretty much self-explanatory, so you can even read about this regarding the Docker documents, how to create a Docker file and use this as well. So what I'm going to do is to make file is to make an image. So I'm going to use the Docker image Docker build, to build the image. Docker build, and I'm going to give this tag engine X, and I'm going to make it in the current directory, and that's it. So it is building from node, all the steps it is showing you on the screen. So it is super easy. Let me close my virtual machine as well, because it is taking high resources. So because we have already placed our code on the Docker lab, so I don't need that anymore. So simple as that. It is creating the image from the Docker file, and I'm going to show you the image in a while. And the image is already has been built. Let me show you the Docker images. Sorry, the Docker images. See, the Nginx latest has been created 9 seconds ago. If I use the Docker history Nginx, you will see, and I will grab for the grab FNI for the password. Let me, it is not grabbing it. Pass. Okay, it's not grabbing it. So it is I've used the key which might be shown regarding the password. I use the pass as a password. So let me show you some of the content. Actually, the drawback of this it is difficult to scroll up. So even you can access it into the machine as well. So I think best solution is that you can use this as well, or you can make the screen bigger as well. Alt plus enter. Sorry, Alt plus enter. I have to do this. Yeah, this is the way. Regarding my pass, I have entered the password as pass, so it might be showing the Docker history command. I'm not able to find it. Anyway, let me show you how you can even SSH into the machine. So simply I'm going to copy this, and one thing, make sure that you keep the SSH section remain active. If you are inactive, within I guess 20 to 25 seconds, you will have no access to this SSH section. So I'm going to SSH into my Docker lab. I guess yes, I'm in. So this is our project. So now I'm going to easily scroll and show you the thing which I want to show you. Docker Nginx. Docker history Nginx. Okay, let me share Docker images. Just a minute. Oh, Nginx. I should use Nginx. Anyways, Nginx. So the thing I want to show you is that regarding the pass which I have entered as well. So it will show by using this anyone can see your password which you have given in the Docker images. So currently it is let me scroll up. Environment path, let me show you which container I've used. Okay, I've uses the secure path. That is why it is not showing me the hashed password. So let me show you my hashed password. Okay, it is not mounted. Anyway, leave this. It is not very very critical thing, but the thing is that I just want to show you that if you do Docker history of the image, if you use any password in the Docker file, it will show in the history section. So to avoid that mishap, what I am going to do, okay, I guess okay, now understand it. I made a little mistake. Actually, the password I've used in the Docker Nginx section, so I gave a wrong name. So I built the Docker application, and instead of giving the name app, I gave the Nginx name, and I have not used any password in the app, so that is why it is not showing. So what I'm going to do is to remove the Nginx image, which is not even the right name. So simply what I'm going to do is to build the image again. So now as I am in SSH session, so I'm going to go into my project and build the image again, which is with regard to the application. So I have not used any password in this, that is why it is not showing on that particular container on that particular image. So let me show you the container first. This is the container, this is the Docker file. I'm going to use the Docker build, and I'm going to give the tag T, and I'm going to give this an app, and I'm going to build this application again, which is I'm building from Node. So same thing as we done previously, but I gave the right name now. So it is building, please wait for a while. Now my application image is ready. I'm going to show you guys uh, the file server.js, um, which I should show you guys previously. This is the server.js file. I've used this my local IP, and it will create the Ssh Key database in the MongoDB. But one thing I need is to tell you, which I have done is intentionally, is and create my image. Instead of using this, you have to give your server actual IP. So currently my server, or you can say the Play Docker Lab IP, is 192.168.0.28. so I need to edit this server.js file. So some of the thing I have to done intentionally to make sure that you guys understand that this has to be done, and it is going to create this database, and you can use the same steps by using your for your lab as well. So I'm going to give the same IP, which is 192.168.0.28. okay, so let's save it, and I'm going to show you the Docker file. You can view this as well. This Docker node will listen on port 3000, and you can use any port above than 1024, which is with regard to the root user. So now what I'm going to do is again and destroy that image which I built. Let me show you the Docker image gis, or you can do Docker image ls, Docker image ls, and you see that add image. So I'm going to remove it. You can use either the name, or if you're not able to remove it, simply use docker remove rmi -f flag for forceful removal of the image. So I'm going to destroy this and will create it again, because I need to give that particular IP to the server.js file. So I'm going to use the same command which I have done previously. So control R for docker build. So I'm going to build this again in the same way. You have to wait it again, and this is the correct way to build your Docker application, because we are baking all our code and our actual IP of the server into that particular image of our application which we have finished, and we need to connect this via our IP. So using Mongos. So now our application has been built. If I show you Docker image, it is built now quite a bit in quick time. The reason for that is the previous layers has been cached, so it takes less time for building. Okay, so what I'm going to build is now the Docker Nginx image for our reverse proxy. Now guys, I'm going to show you how to build your Nginx image. So I'm going to cd back to my main project, and this is my main project. So I'm going to cd into Nginx. Okay, let's do the ls and we have two files, we have two directories here, etc and usr, and we are going to use the docker file to build our image. Let me show you the docker file. In the docker file I've used the password pass and the user will be awesome. The reason for this user asking that I'm going to use a credential regarding my content which is related to the database, MongoDB database. So when you build this image, if you do docker history ls, you will see the password by using the command docker history and image name. So let me show you guys. Okay, so one thing I need to tell you, you must also go to this directory cd into etc nginx and conf.d. so I need to give my IP which is of my server IP. This is the previously I used. You can use in work in local environment as well. So as we are using docker lab, so I need to place my docker lab IP. So let me change this. This will talk to our node server. If the content is with regard to the database, the nginx will talk to our node server which is listening on port 3000. For static content, it will display the static content from the usr shared www.html file. So this is where /API comes, and this is where nginx reverse proxy content will start. It says if you find this URL, then you will display that. If you don't find this, go to the backend, and the backend we have this server of our node listening on port 3000. So this is the way things work. Let me create our nginx server, but I'm going to build it in a non-secure way. Docker build. I'm going to give the tag nginx. Nginx, and I will then go to the I'm in the wrong folder. I need to go back on the path where my actual docker file is located. So I'm going to give the same command. It is building the image now. So I'm going to show you the reason of showing you all this stuff, all the, you can say, the wrong and right stuff, is to make sure that you give and you see the understanding about it, why we should not use this. If you use the docker history, and I'm going to say nginx, okay, the password I gave, you see, anyone can view this password, which is pass, and he or she will apply. Okay, so this is not the correct way to do it. So what I'm going to do is to make sure that instead of giving the I will give the same thing password in the Docker file, but I'm going to create the image in a more secure fashion. So let me show you guys the secure way to create a Docker Nginx to build. It is actually built in a secure way, but what I'm going to do is to mount the ht passwd file, so it will be very secure then. So let me show you guys. Okay, yes, first of all, what I'm going to do is to make a directory password, okay, on my root path. Let me show you. Let me cd into the root. Okay, if I show you the ls, this is, and now I'm going to make the password directory. Okay, now I'm going to create a hash password. For that I will use this command, and I'm going to use this password. Okay, so please wait for this. Okay, there is wrong in the command, just a minute please. Actually, the thing I need to show you that I've changed the password. Actually, you can't use the special characters, you have to use spaces with that. So I have changed the password, and let me go to that folder password, and I'm going to show you the hashed password. One thing I need to tell you that we are in our Docker lab. So this is, then I'm going to the htpasswd, get the content. You see, you will see the hashed password, and what I'm going to do is to when I create the when I launch my Nginx web server, I will locally mount this file with my to the actual path of my of my Nginx container, which is, you see, mounting in this fashion: root password htpasswd file with this. So I'm going to use this password. So we are all set. We have made our application image. We are going to run that image, and we are linking that with Mongo, which is our database. Now I'm going to run that. So I'm going to show you. We are using the Docker run command currently, and I'm going to, as I showed you, use the protected way to run the Nginx container. So let me play this, let me paste this, and I'm going to show you. You see, all this stuff is already shown on this, and I'm going to also run my protected GUI interface of the MongoDB, which is how I already show you at the startup. This is, I'm going to run this also in a protected manner. Okay, so I can show you the database will be created, which is the Ssh Key database. Okay, I use the Ssh Key because I'm also working part-time with Sakle and Mushtaq. This is our Nginx server, and this is my image is Saklan Bhai. He's a past, he's a former writer mouse spinner, played for Pakistan, and he also developed his website saklanmushtaq.com. If you visit this URL or saklanmushtaq.com.pk, it will redirect to this URL. This is the website I've made for him, and I'm using also Nginx on this as a reverse proxy. So I'm going to show you as I've also started my MongoDB GUI interface, which is the Mongo Express. You see it is running. So let me show you guys. I've clicked on the create, and I'm going to use my credential Asim, and I use this credential as my hash credential. Now I'm going to first give the pass which I used, so it will not allow me in. If you see Docker history of Nginx image, you will the password as pass, but I gave the different hash password and mounted that. So you see it let me in. Even the intruder is trying to give other password, he will not able to log in. I am going to give this title Ssh Key Austin Bowling League Cricket. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to show this, that you see this post has been done, and it is stored. So you see Ssh Key database is created. I refreshed it. So if I click on this, see, as it is a GUI interface, if you see, go to the post, you will see that Ssh Key post of off-spin bowling title League Cricket. It has been done. You can make changes with that if you wanna do, and you can destroy this container as well, as all it is in a secure manner. So also I worked on the thing to protect this database. By default Mongo not allow you to secure your database. So what I'm going to do is to again use the Docker SSH Docker. See, this session is expired now. I'm not able to enter in, so in fact I have to again do the SSH session. Instead of doing this, I will use this console docker exec. I need to integrate the shell of Mongo, and I'm going to use bash give this command, and I need to protect this Ssh Key database. I use this credential user Qasim, who is my younger brother, and you see successfully I the role I assigned to him as a root, and his admin. It is use the database of Ssh Key. So I'm going to go to this. If I go to the admin section, and I'm go where you go to the systems, you see Ssh Key Qasim user is created, and his credentials are also hashed, which is secure. So this is the way you can secure your database control D, and also you can use the backups of your for instance, I want to backup this. It will be mounted as it will be stored in your root as I mount this DB folders, data backup folders. So if you have any collection, you can use this, and I give the path as well from where you can read out full documentation with regard to that. So what I'm going to do is to back up the database, and let me show you guys the database backup folder. It is mounted. You see Ssh Key database is created. If I do the ls to the backups, and Ssh Key, and these are the files. And also you can restore this any data if you destroy, but all the data is persistent, which is stored locally on your uh, /root folder. You see 3 folder. If you destroy all these above 4 containers, you can even use all your data. You can save this password and folder and Mongo and backups anywhere you want to save, and your data will not be lost. Further than that, I need to show you the also the other command, docker run command, which is you can use the flags. Actually, these are the switches or the flags you can use. Just is for demonstration purposes. Docker run name and container, for instance asm dash dash restart unless stop. If you do research on this docker run, or you see docker documentation, you will find these flags. If you reboot, your container will be restarted automatically. So this is the way, guys, you can deploy your mean stack application in docker run command. It is fairly long video, so for demonstration I had to do all this. So please like this video and share this video. In the next video I will show you the docker swarm mode on through which you can do load balancing on a single container. I mean, you can run the multiple instance of the same container, for instance Docker Mongo or any other Nginx container, all listening on the same port. I will show you guys how you can scale in or scale out by deploying your mean stack application by using Docker Swarm. That's it guys. Thank you very much. Okay, Allah Hafiz.